in that sense, Rashid Kidwai, let me come to you, befitting to open the new parliament with something as iconic, symbolic, whatever one might call it. 1947, the Women Reservation Bill was deemed unnecessary, and it would be a reality now. And that bill would be the first bill which would be tabled in the new house. As we continue to beam live visuals of the Prime Minister making his way, very soon he'd also be handed over a copy of the Indian Constitution, quick, brisk walk to the new parliament. Rashid Kidwai.
Yeah, Priti, I think this whole transition from the old parliament to new parliament is, of course, a very high or symbolism, and it also reflects some kind of political thinking of the government of the day. Because as we know, we don't actually have very strong voting pattern on gender lines, but an attempt is being made, and you look at the the size of new parliament, it is pretty big. So normally what happens in a stereotype sense, there should have been some delimitation commission and increase in the size of Lok Sabha demonstration in Lok Sabha as well as in the Rajya Sabha, and then perhaps a building would have been, well, here is a building and 33% reservation, which to my mind, I mean, though I have not seen the bill, maybe in addition of that 543 Lok Sabha MPs we have, so there is 33% additional MPs, and that will come in force after 2026 onwards, so perhaps applicable in 2029. But a kind of very shrewd, very calculated, very well thought out political move to set in motion this process of new building, linking it with women reservation, empowerment, and increasing in number of parliamentarians. Probably, as I clarifying, this is not based on any paper or so. This is my own assessment of the situation. This is how it's going to be, so that see the mail order or the patriarchy
about
is
it.
not
Mr.
disturbed.
Kidwai, we're going to talk a bit deeper about the bill, because 1 p.m. is when, I am interrupting you. Sorry, I apologize. We're going to talk a bit about that bill. But let's, 1 p.m. or 1:15 p.m. is when the law minister, Mr. Meghwal, will table it in Lok Sabha. But having said that, let's take a minute. Let's take a minute, viewers. Let's soak in on how big this moment is. Let it just seep in a little. Of all that our viewers have seen, of all that India has seen over the course of the last many decades, all of that 75-year journey encapsulated with this one short, quick walk from the old to the new. Javed, this will be relegated to the annals of Indian parliamentary history, or rather the Indian history. Take us through the journey of the Indian Parliament, what have been for you the watershed moments, your personal moments attached of covering, the Parliament. It's letting go, but it's also embracing. And that is what change is all about.
Yes, I've been very fortunate. My first encounter was with Indrajit Gupta. I had just read about him. I was fresh out of college, and when I first went to Parliament, there I saw Indrajit Gupta, this giant sitting in flesh and blood. He was sitting on the steps with his, he had his chin in the palm of his hand, and he was waiting for those matadors to come and pick him up and take him to Western Court. That's where he lived all his life. So I went and introduced myself. My colleague then, Manni Chakchi, was with me. She says, go ahead and meet him. So I went and introduced him, and I was so awestruck, so fan-struck. It was a fanboy moment for me. I stuttered and stammered, and I'm not usually at a loss for words. And I told him, sir, I'm Javed Ansari. So he says, his reaction was, he looked up at me. He says, so what? I told him, I'm a big fan of yours.
Right.
He said, what is this business of fan shan? If you're really interested, go and do some work in the villages. This fan shan, Coca-Cola culture. That was Indrajit Gupta. He was a towering personality, one of the best parliamentarians.
We're going to, just coming right back to you. Let's cut across right now. My colleague Aishwarya Paliwal also joining us. Aishwarya, like I said, goosebump moments there. What are you witnessing? Has the Prime Minister started his walk? We saw him walk slogan airing. We heard Anurag Thakur raise slogans. What were those slogans? Can you dip in and get us the atmospherics that you're witnessing right now?
Well, Preeti, Bharat Mata Ki Jai were the chants that we could hear, and we saw that the top leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party were walking along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So we saw Nitin Gadkari, we saw Rajnath Singh, we saw Nirmala Sitharaman, the top leaders of the BJP walking alongside Prime Minister Narendra Modi, followed by all the MPs. So this walk, this historic walk, has now been captured in the videos and also through the photographs, because this indeed is historic. A building which was commissioned, the old building which was commissioned way back in 1921, the inauguration took place in 1927, and now from that building to a new building, which was inaugurated on the 28th of May, and now the walk to this new building by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Preeti, we are also expecting the Lok Sabha session to begin in the new Parliament building by about 1:15 p.m. The session in the Raj Sabha will begin about 2:15 p.m. So the proceedings will begin today, and the Prime Minister has already given us a hint of sorts, Preeti, by saying that historic decisions will be taken, and we already know that the cabinet has given
Aishwarya, tell us right now, we are getting in
reservation.
visuals of the Prime Minister waiting and then moving towards the new Parliament. Where are the opposition MPs? Have they already entered the new Parliament? Where are the opposition MPs right now?
Well, the opposition MPs obviously, Preeti, are not walking along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, but yes, they are walking behind, along with all the other MPs. On the front and at the front, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the top leaders of the BJP. And then we are seeing that MPs of other parties are trailing behind. But yes, they all also understand the importance of the visuals. That's why we are seeing them not walking separately. But yes, this, walk obviously is being led by the top leaders of the Bharatiya Janata Party along with Prime Minister Narendra Modi.